All right, so we're going to go ahead and look at some ways that we can use sites on the Livingston platform. Now, we have used some already, and we've sort of hinted at some of these things that we talked about in this section already, but let's go ahead and get some hands on here as well. Okay, so for those of you who are coming off the last section of exercises, you may still be logged in as Maria Flores. Okay, if that's the case, go ahead and make sure to log out, and we're going to log back in as Josiah, our administrator. Okay. So I'm going to go to the user panel and click sign out here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click on sign in. All right, and the email address again is josiah.copeland@livingston.com with the password of Liferay. And click sign in. Okay. All right, so from here, let's go ahead and go to the control panel, sites, and sites here. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and create a intranet for the Livingston platform called the Livingston Loop. Okay, let's go ahead and click on add. All right, there's an option here for intranet site. This is one of the pre-existing site templates that we have available to us. So go ahead and click on intranet site, and we're going to call this Livingston Loop. All right, and we're going to click on the create default pages as private. Okay, and click save. All right, so this is going to generate our new site for us. We're going to go ahead and configure this once it's saved. Okay, so let's go ahead and scroll down here, and we can see some of our membership options. Okay. Now, this is, like I mentioned, an intranet site. This is for the Livingston employees specifically. So what we can do here is we can change the membership type here from open to either restricted or private. Okay. Now, what we can do is we can allow our employees to be able to see and request access to the Livingston Loop. Okay. And go through some sort of a formal review process by changing it to restricted, or we could make it private as well. Okay, either way works for this case. All right, and then what we can do is we can scroll down here. Okay, and there is a parent site option. Okay, so what we can do here is we can select our parent site. So for example, if we wanted to have the Livingston Hotels and Resorts as the parent site, and what this allows for us to do is set up a child hierarchy, and we can maybe share some resources across the two or different things along those lines. We can click on select here. All right, and we can look for the Livingston Hotels and Resorts either via search, or I can see mine right down here, Livingston Hotels and Resorts. So I'll go ahead and click that, and that now is my parent site. Okay. What I can do here is, in order to make sure that my employees and only my employees can request access to this particular site, because we have restricted set up here, is by looking at this limited membership option. Okay. Now in your steps, it doesn't say to necessarily set this up, and you don't have to if you don't like, but by changing this to yes, what this allows us to do is restrict membership to the top level. Okay. So maybe only employees will become site members at the top, and they need to be site members at the top in order to request access to the Livingston Loop, something along those lines. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and scroll down and click save. Okay. Now, just like organizations, you can just create a child site from the site menu as well, and it will automatically assume the parent site. Okay. But this is one way, again, just like we saw with organizations, we could sort of move things around if we'd like to. Okay. All right, so if we were to click Go to Site in the Site Administration panel here, we will see the Livingston Loop. Okay, and this is just taking advantage of that intranet site template that we looked at earlier. Again, this is a pre-built site template for us, just gives us a very basic starting point for intranets. Okay. What we can do is we can modify this if we'd like. So I can go ahead and move things around. So maybe I want to set the language selector to the left. Okay. Set the activities to the right at the top, and then recent content here. Okay. So these site templates give us a little bit of flexibility to work with here. All right, and we could go ahead and change the grid of the layout as well for the different pages. Okay, so to do that, if we clicked on Configure Page at the top right, this allows us to configure the specific page that we're on. And each page is comprised of these layout templates that are going to determine sort of the grid structure where we can place these widgets on the page. Okay, so right now it's just 2 columns 50-50. If we wanted to change this to 2 columns 30-70, which is this guy right next to it, we can go ahead and click on that and click Save. Okay, so this just gives a little bit more space to our activities and recent content and makes the language selector a little bit less part of the page. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and continue creating some sites together here. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a site for the Fiji office. Okay, so go to Control Panel, Sites, and Sites. Okay. All right, so we can go to Options and add child site here next to Livingston Hotels and Resorts, or we can go and continue the hierarchy here by creating a child site of the child sites that we already have. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the One Child Site link here. Okay. And within the Livingston loop, we can have some of our different offices. Okay. So we can have another hierarchy further down. All right. So next to the Livingston loop, we can go ahead and click on Options, Add Child Site. All right. And we can go ahead and select the community site here. Again, this is just another site template that we can use. We'll call this Fiji Office. Okay. And we're going to set these pages as private as well. And click Save. Okay. Once again, we can go ahead and do restricted membership here. And scroll down and click Save. All right, so this is using some site templates for some different sites that we have. Okay, so we created Livingston Loop, the top level there, with the intranet site template. For the Fiji office, we have the community site template. Okay, let's go ahead and actually create a site template together that we can use to more rapidly generate some of these new sites. Okay, so to do that, we can go to Control Panel, Sites, and Site Templates. Again, this is all in the menu. Okay, you'll see our 2 site templates here. We can go ahead and click on the Add button. Okay, and let's call this Hotel Location Site. Okay, so this will help us to rapidly generate new hotel and resort sites as they are built for the Livingston Hotel and Resort. We can get those prepped and ready to go in advance. Okay. All right, and let's go ahead and click Save. All right, so in order to set up our new site template, we need to go ahead and click on Hotel Location Site here. Okay, and what this will do is this will open up a new, essentially, site here that we can work with. Okay, if I open up the site administration panel, this is for our site template, but it acts very much like a site. Okay, so here what we can do is we can add some pages, we can add some new widgets, and we can get it all set up so that whenever we need to generate a new hotel location site, we can just go ahead and take advantage of this site template here. Okay, so go ahead and open up the Add menu here, open Widgets, okay, and highlight it. There's some widgets here that are frequently used. All right, and we'll go ahead and just drag a web content display to the page. All right, and we can go ahead and change this to be 1 column. Typically, in modern sites, we have home sites that have just sort of 1 column with the number of images and information about the product or the location or whatever it is it might be. So we're going to go ahead and just set up the structure here to prepare our marketing teams for that kind of a site structure. Okay. So click on Configure Page, click on 1 column here, and save. All right, so now we want to go ahead and add some pages to this site here to work with. So we can go ahead and open up the menu. All right, and in the site administration panel, we're going to go ahead and click on Build and Pages. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and click on Add Private Page here. All right, go ahead and select the widget page. This is just sort of a traditional page in a Liferay site. All right, and we're going to name this Book a Room. And click Save. Okay. All right, here we can go ahead and click on the back button at the top, and we'll now see that Book a Room shows up here in the navigation list. Okay. All right, so what we want to do is we want to add some child pages here. Okay, so we're going to basically set up a full page structure for each of our new hotels or resorts. Okay, click on the Add button next to Book a Room. This will allow us to do that. Okay, go ahead and select Widget Page again. We're just going to stick with those for now. And we'll name this one Suites. And click Save. Okay. All right, we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to go ahead and click on the back button and do 2 more child pages. You'll see that we've moved over here. There's a breadcrumbs here so you can see the entire structure of your site pages. All right, so click plus next to Book a Room again. And of course, widget page. This is going to be called Budget. Okay, and then click Save. All right, we'll click back again. All right, we'll click plus next to Book a Room again. Widget page. And this one will be called Extended Stay. Okay. Click Save. All right, so now we can click back, and from here, we're going to do some more top-level pages. Okay. All right, so we're going to make a page for the amenities, for things like About Livingston, for Contact Us. All right, and then we can actually set the site template for a different site that we create as well. So we can see how this works once it's complete. Okay, so go ahead and click on Add at the very top right here. Okay, this will give us the ability to create pages at the top level of the navigation. Okay, so private page, widget page. This one, again, will be amenities. Click Save. All right, we're going to click back again. And again, just for 2 more pages here so that we have a full page structure for our new sites. Add widget page here. And we'll do About Livingston. Click Save. All right, we'll click back here. And we'll go ahead and do Add Widget Page again. Okay, and then we will go ahead and do Contact Us and click Save. All right, so if we click back here, now what we can see is we have a number of top-level pages, and we have some child pages here as well for Book a Room. Okay. All right, so this gives us our basic structure. If I click on Go to Site, for example, okay, what I'll see right now is just the home page. So something that you can do maybe as a bonus exercise, if you'd like, is you can go ahead and set this up in the new navigation menus section. Okay. So if you're new to 7.1, this is actually a new option. This is not in the steps listed on the site here, so you can feel free to do this if you'd like. All right, but if I want to actually show all of those pages in the navigation, I need to click on the default private pages here. Okay, and then I would need to actually go ahead and go through and add my pages. Okay. So I would click private page, and I would just go ahead and add everything. Click add. All right, actually I'll remove home here since we already have that. And we're good to go. So now if I click go to site, I should see everything here. Okay, so that's just a new feature to Liferay 7.1. You can add different navigation menus, so feel free to explore that and test that as well. Okay, What we're going to do next is we're going to actually create a new site using our new site template. Okay, so go to the control panel, go to Sites and Sites. Okay, now what we can do is we can either create a new site using this template, just like we did for the Livingston Loop and the Fiji office sites, or we can take an existing site and we can add our site template to the set of pages if there isn't already pages added. Okay, so for example, we can go to the Hotel Americana site. I'm going to click on Options, and there's an option that says Go to Site Settings. So I can go ahead and click on that here. All right, if you scroll down, there is a Pages section, and this will show you whether or not you have existing pages for public or private pages. Okay. All right, so here, if we wanted to use our hotel location site template for the public pages, we can go ahead and open up this section. Okay. And we can go ahead and select hotel location site and choose to enable propagation of changes from the site template. So like I mentioned before, this will link it to the site template, but give us some flexibility as well. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just leave that unchecked and click Save. All right, and now if we click Go to Site, okay, we're going to have the new site template here, but we're going to have to modify the navigation menu. Okay. All right, so here we'll go ahead and pause for this. Again, just like the other sections, I would encourage you to consider what sites you would need for your actual use case, okay? What kinds of site templates you might use to rapidly generate some of those sites, and feel free to play around with it a little bit. Go ahead and create some site templates, create some new sites using the site templates, maybe add some widgets to the pages, go a little bit further than we did here. But otherwise, I will see you in the next section.